Welcome to Geographical World. Today we explore one of the most serious regional crises of 2025, the Pakistan-Afghanistan conflict that erupted in September. A story of border tensions, militant sanctuaries, and a struggle for peace that reached all the way to Doha. We'll uncover why it happened, what Pakistan's main concerns are, especially about the TTP and BLA, and how Qatar's diplomacy tried to cool the fire before it spread further. September-October 2025. What began as a sharpening of old tensions along the Durand Line erupted into a regional crisis, cross-border strikes, accusations of militant sanctuaries, and emergency diplomacy in Doha. Tonight we explain the causes, Pakistan's security concerns, especially over the TTP and BLA, and how Qatar stepped in to broker a fragile pause before it spread further. In mid-October, heavy fighting along the border disrupted lives and trade, prompting emergency talks in Doha. Mediators reported an immediate ceasefire after intense discussions. To understand why a border flare-up can so quickly escalate, you need history. The Durand Line has long been disputed. Tribal communities straddle both sides. Militant groups have exploited porous terrain for decades. After the Taliban returned to power in 2021, Islamabad warned repeatedly about militant sanctuaries across the border. By late summer 2025, incidents on both sides were increasing. Pakistan blames Afghanistan-based militant groups, chiefly the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan (TTP) and factions of the Balochistan insurgency (BLA) for attacks inside Pakistan. Islamabad says militants used Afghanistan territory as staging grounds, prompting cross-border strikes and artillery exchanges. The TTP is an extremist insurgent coalition that has staged attacks across Pakistan and in 2025 showed renewed activity and attempted to expand operations. The BLA and other Balochist insurgent formations have long targeted Pakistani state and infrastructure in Balochistan. International bodies and government statements have underscored concern about these groups. In August 2025, the U.S. designated a BLA faction as a terrorist organization, underscoring international alarm over the group's activity. When militants operate from across the border, the host state has a responsibility to deny safe havens. Pakistan's core demand has just been that: stop the sanctuaries or we will act to defend our people. From Pakistan's view, the matter is simple. Repeated attacks inside Pakistan, including suicide bombings and assaults on security forces and infrastructure, have cost lives. Pakistan's leadership expressed that it could not tolerate militants using Afghanistan's soil as a launching pad. That concern, reinforced by concrete incidents, contributed to the decision to take kinetic action and demand international pressure on Kabul's authorities to curb militant networks. On-screen graphic, Pakistan's asks: deny safe havens, hand over or neutralize militant leaders, joint border monitoring. Any cross-border conflict risks civilian harm. Afghan sources reported civilian casualties in Pakistani strikes. Islamabad insisted it targeted militant. Independent reporting stressed both heavy human costs and a complex truth. Clashes often include stray fire, misattribution, and the fog of war. This is why neutral monitoring and third-party mediation were urgently needed. As tensions spiked, Qatar, a regional mediator with ties across the region, convened talks together with Turkey, bringing both sides to the table in Doha. The result? An immediate ceasefire and a pledge to develop mechanisms for longer-term peace and follow-up discussions. On-screen text: Doha talks, mediators, Qatar, Turkey. Outcome: immediate ceasefire, follow-up meetings planned. Short cutaway, dramatized press conference line, paraphrase of mediator statement. Both sides agreed to halt offensive operations and pursue diplomatic channels. For Pakistan, international mediation served two purposes: to stop the immediate bloodshed and to build pressure on Kabul to deny militant safe havens. Qatar's involvement gave Pakistan a diplomatic cover and broader international attention to security concerns that Pakistan insists are existential. The ceasefire is only the first step. Long-term stability requires reliable monitoring of the Durand Line, a clear handover or neutralization of militants, cooperation on intelligence, and urgent confidence-building measures to reopen trade points. Without sustained pressure and mechanisms for accountability, the cycle of attack, counterattack, and civilian suffering can resume. On-screen bullet points. 1. Third-party monitoring. 2. Intelligence sharing. 3. Border confidence building. 4. Economic reopening. For millions of Pakistanis living near the frontier, the primary demand is safety. Pakistan's leaders argue that insisting on the denial of militant sanctuaries is not aggression. It is a necessary step to protect citizens. Doha's talks offer a diplomatic path forward, but the international community must back concrete action to stop militants from regrouping across borders. What mechanisms are realistic for ensuring Taliban authorities deny safe havens? What humanitarian steps should be prioritized to help border civilians hit by the fighting? If you found this useful, subscribe for in-depth explainers on regional security. Drop your questions below. We'll cover follow-up developments and the Doha follow-up meeting on October 25. Thanks for watching, and peace to those who have suffered.